Good afternoon. I'm Adriana Moctezuma, a student in the Monroe College Honors Program, and my presentation is The Power of the Community and Police Working Together in the Busiest City. The New York City Police Department has 55,000 sworn officers patrolling and serving the communities. The NYPD mission statement is to enhance the quality of life in New York City by working in partnership with the community to enforce the law, preserve peace, protect the people, reduce fear, and maintain order. The mission emphasizes the partnership with the community and its purpose to serve and protect the community as well as addressing the issues within the NYPD. Both the community and the police department have the power to run the busiest city in the world through good communication and correcting the system. Community initiatives such as neighborhood policing states that the police officers who patrol within the community are the ones who mostly commonly interact with the community. But the Patrol Service Bureau has tried to get each precinct to interact with the community, but due to short of staff of the precinct or crime rate going up, officers do not have the opportunity to be in the community and asking questions through this program. So that is looking bad on the precinct because that means they're lacking in officers working in their precincts. By the precinct being involved with the community, such as going to businesses, asking about how to improve safety, but also setting up events on how to interact with the community to build better communication. Police officers are taking out of their regular jobs of patrolling, answering calls about crimes that are occurring in the community, are often taken out of that position and are walking through their neighborhood that the precinct is assigned to and goes to businesses, asks them about issues or concerns that they have that's going on in the community. Police officers that are on the neighborhoods are often seen, and most of the community members already know majority of these officers that respond to crimes. It is commonly known as the high call of crimes, meaning that the area has more crime rate than another sector of the borough or any other borough. Community policing. The NYPD offers programs such as the Block Watcher program, community partnerships, and Ride Along program. Community Affairs also offers programs to the youth learning about law enforcement such as Summer Youth Police Academy, Law Enforcement Explorers, Police athletically known as PAL. The Summer Youth Police Academy is one of the several initiatives and effective programs that has provided services for the young youth in NYC. It is offered only between the ages of 10 to 15. Another program is the NYPD Explorer that is offered to the youth between the ages of 14 to 20. Its purpose is to provide leadership in skills and law enforcement opportunity. It's mostly done online due to COVID, but still processing application. This program serves as to any young individual who is trying to pursue a career in law enforcement. The Police Athletic League is a program that is provided to kids in the young youth, such as pre-K, daycare, middle school, and elementary school, in order to get them to improve academically and realize their full potential. It is currently looking into opening back up for this academic year. But due to the circumstances of COVID, these programs were not being offered for the safety of the youth, but try to find another way to interact to students to still give their full potential. Case studies. An underlining principle of POW is to promote strong, positive relationship between officers and kids, families, and communities. This program works to build relationships in the entire community with the precincts. Programs are open to all kids and offer a variety of services to youth by high risk factors in New York City, most challenging neighborhoods. These programs are offered to high communities that usually children are either in a domestic violence home or have family members that are involved in gangs, or they're just going through a hard time because either a parent is going through a divorce. So it might not be so easy. Majority of these events are done virtually or have limited people access to these events. Cases that have occurred are the Eric Garner case in 2014 in Staten Island. A chokehold resulted in the victim's death. Chokeholds in New York State, it is prohibited, it is not allowed, and it is no longer taught in the academy because it could cause an individual's death. The officer that promoted in Eric Garner's death was fired from the NYPD and was not going to be given pension because he had caused an outrage between the community, and the commissioner at the time was pressured into fire him because he did not face any charges. Sean Bell, a 2006 case in Queens, New York, police fired 50 rounds into the victim's car. So these were officers undercover that were trying to find drugs in that area. It so happened to be he was in the area where he was, and it put him at risk because he was an automatic target because they thought he looked like somebody who bought the drugs. But it was not the case, and it was not the car. The victim obviously did not survive. The officers were not charged and most likely were able to keep their jobs. It is still an ongoing upsetting situation because there was nobody incriminated for somebody's death who should have been incriminated after being shot 50 times. These incidents have caused for large movements to happen in New York City. Matter of fact, and all over the world, Black Lives Matter movement. These movements are a effect on how officers respond to arrests. One officer could have a major impact upon a precinct or a police department. Advancement of technology has allowed for some officers to be incriminated or get fired, but due to them being protected or can't charge the same person with the same crime, they cannot go to jail because it will be causing a violation of their Fifth Amendment of a double jeopardy. The NYPD reforms. The cause of these reforms is because of the recent 2020 murder of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis, Minnesota police sparked sweeping reforms to the NYPD. Even though that case happened in another state, it has largely affected every police department, including NYPD. NYPD obviously has many cases of police brutality, and it has called for a $1 billion budget cut this past summer, the reduction of half the incoming officers in 2020. It calls for a class to be canceled in July of 2020, as well as an internship that is offered to college students through the NYPD that is called the NYPD Cadets. It was also canceled because of the budget cut. The budget will now be offered to other programs such as public schools, colleges, protection to LGBTQ rights. Reforms that are proposed include body cameras that have to be recorded at the time they get to the crime scene or the whatever might be the case. Annual training. So there will be trainings of the new programs that they enforced or the reforms that they enforced in the department. Records of the NYPD officers are now made public. Before, there was a protection on officers in the NYPD that did not allow for community members to even see the records. So this has caused major issues because now that the community members are able to see the records of officers, there are some cases that will be allowed to reopen new cases because new information that was not provided during the court is now seen through these officers' background history. So say for instance, an officer that has been given multiple write-ups, it will be shown in their record. So it could cause for a different charge of an officer to get because once the department knows why wasn't this addressed before, it gives the opportunity for the families to file a lawsuit and a lawsuit against the individual because it should have not happened again to cause the death of a victim. NYPD advancement. Even though the NYPD has some bad officers, majority of the officers are good that try to improve and get their job done, who actually have a passion for it. The investments have given them to facilitate officers to work on smartphones that was not offered before to 35,000 officers and equipped with 2,500 patrol vehicles with tablets. So this gives a chance for new officers and current officers to get these devices and see what's going on and get to the place of the crime or the scene as quickly as possible. As to before, in 1845, it was not as advanced as it is now. It was just developing its system and giving access to their officers on how to reach them. It was just a simple radio, and that caused many issues back then that has been improved by now. Modern technology has also helped them to be more accessible. Now, there's a chart that businesses are able to reach the sergeants of their local precincts with their phone numbers and express their concerns if officers are not able to patrol in their communities. Part of the connection is frosted by the NYPD's use of social media. So everyone nowadays has either a smartphone and the social media. So now they're able to see what advancements the NYPD has to offer and what they have the ability to give to the community. Overall, it is recommended that the NYPD continue to build trust with the community and officers. Citizens should become knowledgeable about the programs that is offered. That is one thing that they're lacking, and offer it more to the young students who are either in school or home, but be more accessible. Further, there should be more programming for the youth in order to build trust within the people in uniform and people in the community. As for reforms are implemented, continue the communication within the NYPD and to the community is essential to build trust and make long time lasting and positive change. So this was my presentation. Thank you.